lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels slow mo, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now.
Welcome everybody to the Western States Racing League. We are live here at Darlington, where we are getting ready for 117 laps of racing under the lights. And in the evening, alongside me from the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth is Liam. Liam, how's it going as we are getting ready to go gridding?
Fantastic, man. It is wonderful to be back here with the Western States guys. These guys are ready to roll at Darlington, the track that is known as Too Tough to Tame. Two completely opposite ends of this racetrack is definitely going to make it tough for these guys to figure out the balance of the car on both ends. But that's why we run 117 laps, to figure out who is going to be the best.
Yeah, 26 cars signed in tonight, with Bentley Glazer taking the top spot and Lyle Swearingen to his outside. In that second row will be Butch Davis and Christian Bishop, while Ryan Steele and JTW Justin T. Wilkinson will take care of that third row. Starting on the inside of the fourth row will be Chad Stearns and Chad Simpson. Starting ninth on the inside of the fifth row will be Brian Barnes and Chris Samard, while Dennis Fuson and Bob Beltrami will lock down in that number sixth row. Row number 7 will see Julian Ricci.
And then we've got Wayne Hutchison, Ron Hollifield, William Fletcher, David Weaver, Wayne Fleet, Barry Phil, and Earl Weaver to round out the top 20. Jump back to Dan Brazington, Dustin Burns, Scott Kukas, Todd Miles, Keith Kelman, and James Campbell. Gonna round out the field here today in truck number 13, position 26. The 26 drivers ready to rock and rumble at one of the toughest tracks we are going to go to all season.
You know, off the air, Liam, we were talking about this, and it's, especially up here in the booth, it's a tale of two different people. You would love to be driving this race tonight, and I am glad I am up here in the booth and not on the racetrack, because this track, I can't even tame it, and it's just one of those, it's a hot, slick track, and, with that temperature, cranked up to about 81 degrees, I mean, there's going to be a lot of grip.
Definitely going to be a lot of grip in sim time. About 7:45, so I would imagine it's going to get dark here. So the grip levels should go up. But one thing you talked about, with this track being as tough as it is, wouldn't be surprised if we saw some mistakes happen early and often throughout this field. Anywhere as well. I mean, up front, towards the back. But I would be very careful with these guys. You don't want to keep making mistakes. You don't want those to compound. So I've got a feeling that whoever makes the least amount of mistakes tonight is probably going to be in victory lane. I don't know if we're going to see a flawless driver, but going to have to be as close as you can be.
You definitely have to be perfect.
Pace truck makes that hard left turn. Once again, ready. Field in the hands of Bentley Glazer and Lyle Swearingen. Green flag is in the air. We are underway here at Darlington. The advantage inside, getting into turn number 1. Bentley Glazer takes the lead, and here comes Butch Davis in for second. Still side by side, a lot of the way through. The pack starting to single file out. You see some drivers getting loose, maybe one or two getting up into the wall, just a hair. Starting with these Darlington stripes.
Yeah, these stripes are going to come at a premium tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get you a proper Darlington stripe counter, but we can definitely keep an eye on them as they come, as things single filed out now, basically through the entire field. It is entirely single file now, not a side-by-side battle going on at the moment. Bentley Glazer out to about a half a second lead over Butch Davis. Ryan Steele sitting in 3rd place. Just behind him, Lyle Swearingen, your outside pole sitter. He's dropped 2 positions and is trying not to lose a 3rd one to the 26 of Christian Bishop.
Well, as you were saying that, Liam, Butch Davis just set quick time of the race with a 29.55. So, I mean, he's faster than the race leader Bentley Glazer in that number 87 truck.
He might be faster right now, but is that going to be too much too soon? Is he going to waste some valuable grip on his tires? I'm going to say no, because now Glazer goes 2/10 quicker than that, as does Butch Davis, a 29.35 for your race leader. And look at the run Butch Davis gets through turns 1 and 2. He's closed in about 2 car lengths just throughout the course of this half a lap.
Look at this battle starting to heat up, and this is what Darlington is all about, as we're going to go actually on board with on the nose cam of that, number 43 truck.
Yeah, you can see him trying to close in. He's just maybe a foot or so lower on the exit of turn 2. Not quite as much of an advantage this time around. 3 and 4, we'll see what kind of different lines they run. A little bit more of a diamond type of line, going right up next to the wall and then coming back down for Bentley Glazer in the lead. Butch Davis ran towards the middle throughout the course of that lap, and that's kind of put a car length or so back into the favor of Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, we're on board with Justin T. Wilkinson, JTW, and he's running probably about the same type of line. And Liam, I think a diamond type corner would be just what the doctor ordered.
It definitely can be, but the risk is getting up there and hitting the wall in the middle of the corner, not being able to get off of it. You lose a ton of momentum and speed throughout the course of that lap. But like you say, we're talking Justin T. Wilkinson here. He is all over, as he might have just scraped the wall a little bit there. I was going to say he's all over the back bumper of Bishop, but then there's a second and a half back to Chad Stearns back in 7th place. Huge gap behind this top 6.
That driver out of Newcastle, Indiana, driver at number 05. It's a tale of two different lines. So we're going to bring it back out to the wide shot there.
And Alan, I think it's funny, you bring up 2 different lines. That's a lot more than we're accustomed to seeing here at Darlington. I mean, back in the day, these guys really, really used to struggle getting into a corner side by side. These guys made it through turns 1 and 2, and most of them through 3 and 4, staying side by side on that first lap. But that's about all they can do. This isn't a 3 or 4 or 5 groove racetrack. All you can do is pretty much run middle or top. If you run that bottom lane throughout the corner, I think you're going to be running a little bit slow. You kind of clip the exit and the entry, but this is not going to be like a Charlotte or a Kansas where you commit to just running the whole outside or the whole inside for an entire quarter.
Yeah, and Liam, to your point too, also, when you look at this racetrack, you think, oh, it's wide enough for a couple cars. But until you sit in the cockpit, it's a whole different beast when you're sitting in that cockpit, because it really, it's like you're claustrophobic. you're up against the wall, you're slipping and sliding, and that bottom groove probably, in any other racetrack would probably be about the middle groove.
Chad Stearns. I might, just as we were saying that, he ran the total bottom there in turns 3 and 4. But yeah, Alan, like you said, I mean, it looks like there might be space. And yeah, I bet if you're going 30 mile an hour, you could kind of uncomfortably fit 3 cars here. Not hitting each other, not hitting the wall. But when you're entering these corners at 175 miles an hour, that is a complete game changer. As now a battle for 6th place might be starting to heat up as Chad Stearns has Chad Simpson getting close to his rear bumper.
Yeah, this is a battle. Essentially would be for the 7th position. A little bit deeper in the field though. We can see some people kind of playing leapfrog, and we're going to see some comers and goers for the duration of this race for sure. So we're only 12 laps in.
Only 12 laps in, no cautions yet throughout the course of this race. Bentley Glazer has led them all. Butch Davis sits about 2/3 of a second behind. Hasn't really let that 87 get too far away. Hasn't been able to reel him in. Ryan Steele sits in 3rd place, about a second off of that lead battle. Lyle Swearingen just behind him, about another 2/3 back. Justin T. Wilkinson was able to get around Christian Bishop to take over that final top 5 spot, and Christian Bishop doesn't seem to be losing too much time after losing that position, keeping that 55 of JTW honest. Chad Stearns brought in 7th place. Oops, sorry, Alan.
I was just gonna say I love watching the McDonald's scheme go around the racetrack. Granted, I do like McDonald's, but
That's a good-looking one, though. I mean, I like the majority red McDonald's schemes. I haven't really been a huge fan of when they put out the white ones for Bubba and Tyler, but I tell you what, man, you get that red McDonald's scheme with the golden arches on it, a little bit of gold on the side. It just hits like a McDouble on an empty stomach.
oh man.
It hits like that 55 just hit the wall a little bit right there.
Well, that's one golden arch with the Darlington stripe on it.
We'll continue on with the through the field here. Chad Stearns running in 7th place, right where he started. We said that Chad Simpson was starting to chase him down, but Chad Simpson in 8th place, starting to get a mirror full of Kingsford charcoal. Talking about that 77 of Chris Samard. He's currently running 9th, up 1 spot from where he started. Got around Brian Barnes in the 4. Bob Beltrami sitting in 11th place, trying to get himself to a top 10, and it looks like Keith Kelman going to go a lap down after coming in, making... No, he did not make a pit stop. However, Dan Brazington is in the pits.
Going back to Chris Samard, he's like the rest of us here in the northern part of the nation, wishing summer would hurry up and get here.
I mean, you might... Oh, we've got... coming up off of turn number 2, right in front of JTW. Here comes Bishop down to the inside, getting around the lap car of Campbell, and Campbell gets up into the wall. That was a bit of contact there from the 55. And now Bishop tried to get the nose underneath Campbell and was unable to do so. Campbell kind of chops that nose down a little bit, and now Bishop, he's going to be trying to get around that 13 as quick as possible. Tell you what, last week it was tough to get out of the way at Bristol. Darlington, it is
even tougher.
It is equally as tough. You don't have that constant freight train, but you do have contact there. 13 sideways. He's gonna get turned again down the front straightaway in the inside wall off of Chad Simpson.
We're still green.
Still green. That 13 is just going to jump to the pits. Interesting set of circumstances there as everyone's trying to get around that 13. We'll see if we can take a look.
You ask and you shall receive. Yeah, the 13 was just loose as a goose, and then the 42 just helped him out, and that was all she wrote to the beer stand.
Yeah, tough break there for James Campbell and for the 42. Went up in there and made some contact. He's definitely got some damage to the rear end, some damage to the right front. We take a look at that 42. That thing is sliding around. It is not handling well.
Yeah, Chad Simpson having a time keeping that thing straight and pointing it in the right direction. And Babs is cheering on the FBR guys as usual. Good to see Babs in here.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody tuning in here on Sim Racing Media. We get some good racing going on here. These Western States boys really know how to put on a show. So, we know you're having a good time watching with us. Let us know who your favorite is. And if it's your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit the bell. We've got fantastic racing all week. You don't want to miss it.
Absolutely not. And speaking of the week ahead, Liam, a league that we called last summer is making their return to Sim Racing Media, and that's ECR, Elite Cup Racing, with their Daytona race this weekend.
I love those guys. They put on a good show, and I tried to find a way that I could race with them, but unfortunately my work schedule doesn't even allow me to get up into the booth, so kind of, the way it goes sometimes.
Well, Bentley Glazer's, all but trying to check out on Butch Davis in that number 43 truck, along with Ryan Steele, and that in that number 20 truck.
You're right, but as I'm looking at some of these lap times, Alan, the fastest car that last time around, the fastest truck, was number 68, Lyle Swearingen, with a 31:04 compared to the leader's 31:30. Could the tires start to be shifting in the other direction after 25 laps complete here at Darlington? That time around, Bentley Glazer responds with a 31:14. Butch Davis loses a couple of tenths coming through turns 1 and 2.
So here's the thing, Liam, and people might be wondering, well, Ryan Steele was like was number 12, like the last handful of weeks and all of last season. Well, here's the thing about this league is it's in a hosted session. It's in a public lobby. There's no passwords. Bob Beltrami says anyone's welcome to race at any given time. So the number that you slide in with is essentially the number you get for the session.
Yeah, I mean, they go through, they do the points based on each driver. They are, they're thorough in that sense, but with this being a more open type of league, it is kind of one of the risks that you run. Sometimes it can make these paint schemes look a little different for us, but we know who's who. And speaking of who's who, Bentley Glazer, he's trying to show that he is who's who, as he's now put that gap over a second and a quarter. We've got a battle here going for third place. Look at Lyle Swearingen move down to the inside into 3. Going to try to pull a slider on Steele. Yeah, that slider on Steele worked pretty good. Put Lyle Swearingen up into third place.
That was textbook.
Yeah. Got in there with a good run. Drove all the way down. Slid up just enough to get up in front of him, but he had enough space as to where that really didn't slow Steele down at all.
It makes me want dirt track season to come back.
We'll get there soon enough.
I'm ready for dirt. you know, watching Lucia, tonight and tomorrow and pretty much all weekend. I'm ready to see some dirt fly. A little bit deeper in the field. There's that number 12 truck of Dennis Huson. Unfortunately, he's going in the wrong direction. And that Tito Falcon number 12 Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, he's lost 3 spots from where he started. He started just outside at the top 10 in 11th place. Currently sitting in 14th. Right now, coming up off of the pit lane is Earl Weaver. Keith Kelman has also gone a lap down. Dustin Burns has gone a lap down to your leader, as well as Scott Kukas. So 20 drivers still on the lead lap. Bentley Glazer continues to hold on to the lead, but we've got ourselves a battle kind of at the back here. Todd Miles gets himself around Wayne Fleet. That's for 19th. Then again, Lyle Swearingen, Ryan Steele, and Butch Davis, they are all closing in on one another as the leader, Bentley Glazer, starts to drive away just a little bit more.
Is this one of those
action all over this track, Alan?
Is this like one of those Days of Thunder situations where if they go to the outside, they can't hold it?
It depends on where. I think it's going to be tough to make a pass on the outside coming up off of one of these corners, just because of how much racetrack you need to use. But I think if you're on the outside, as long as you don't get fenced, you're in the better position. I could say that, but we could ask Kurt Busch what he thinks about being on the outside here. He'd probably say a little bit different.
Oh, man. It's no secret that you're a huge Tyler Reddick fan. Here at Sim Racing Media.
Yes. Ryan Steele gets the wall a little bit. Chad Stearns gonna get to his inside, take away fourth.
I'm a huge Tyler Reddick fan, but from his dirt late model days.
Yeah, I kind of took the easy route, picked Tyler because he took over Kurt's car. I was already pretty fond of him. I liked him in Xfinity, both. Not so much in the 9. Oh, caution is out. Keith Kelman's around. More contact. Steele is going to get in it. Chad Stearns and Lyle Swearingen gets turned.
Here's what happened to Keith Kelman. He's going to get up there and has a date with the wall. Bentley Glazer gets a piece. Butch Davis and Calamity just breaks loose. No.
Right in front of the leader. Bentley Glazer gets a piece. Butch Davis, all of the top 5. 4 out of the top 5 at least. Christian Bishop, first one to get through without any damage.
No fast repairs.
No, that amazing truck that Bentley Glazer has had all night is now at risk. Along with what Lyle Swearingen got.
So
Butch Davis doesn't look like he's got a crazy amount of damage.
Here's what Butch Davis saw.
Oh.
As we're going to back this up just a little bit, and we're going to show you the front row seat that he had. There's Keith Kelman getting loose. Bentley Glazer just, oh boy. Liam, you gotta.
Sorry.
I was gonna say you gotta hope for Bentley Glazer he doesn't have a ton of damage.
Yeah, hearing him say he had about 30 seconds of optional repairs to get taken care of, and he's still on the pit. So is Lyle Swearingen, Butch Davis, Chad Stearns, and Chad Simpson. All still in the pits taking extended repairs. So the top 5 all caught up in our first caution of the day, involving lapped car Keith Kelman getting up into the wall and Bentley Glazer running up on it too quick, nowhere to go. Contact was made. SMR Graphics says howdy. Sorry if you already said that, Alan, but
No,
appreciate you guys jumping up in here.
gotta get more people in here. Smash
Yeah,
that
love to
like
have ya.
button.
So Ryan Steele is going to take over the race lead after this set of pit stops. The lights are off on the iRacing.com pace truck. We'll be ready to go down. Bob Beltrami, look at him. He's up to 3rd place.
You know, I don't want to jinx him. Don't want to put the announcer's curse on him.
Yeah, I suppose you did a lot of that last week.
I put the curse on everybody last week.
That was unheard of. Anyways, pace truck makes that hard left turn. The field in the hands of Ryan Steele. It's going to come up off of turn number 4 into the Geico restart zone. He goes immediately. He's going to have himself a nice gap here over Christian Bishop. Top 2 single file. We'll see where they stay double file getting into turns 1 and 2.
And here comes the freight train. That 26 truck looks awfully strong. He's going to make a move to the inside on Steele. Door bumper not so clear. They're side by side.
And here's where Steele's going to benefit, having the outside. But Bishop is powering through on the bottom side. He's going to be able to get clear getting into turns 1 and 2. And now here comes JTW trying to find a way around for second. He's going to get loose up top. JTW has to relinquish a couple of car lengths, and that allows Bob Beltrami to close in on him.
That's okay. We're only on lap number 40 of 117. JTW going to the outside wall.
And Alan, you mentioned we're 40 laps complete now out of 117. These guys made it 37 laps or 36 laps before their first caution. With that being said, it makes it a pretty easy decision to come in and take that first set of tires. Caution flag out once again. This time it's going to be, I got Lyle Swearingen with some damage here to the back end of his truck.
Let's see if it was
Barry Phil.
Oh. Here's a look at it from up top in the chopper.
Yeah, it just looks like a little bit of contact there from the 0-5. Turns him around, and
It's a racing deal.
well, what I was getting ready to say is, you know, if you were to get a caution 10 or 15 laps from now, would you take those tires? You know, you start with 3 sets in the pits. You've taken your first one at that first yellow flag. Obviously, this is not the caution you're going to come in and take set number 2 at. But how soon do you take that second set? How much do you want to save that third set for a really late race yellow?
I mean, I think they're going to do this on 3 pit stops. So you want the freshest tires possible for that last run. I mean, it's hard to say.
I almost feel like you want to wait. I mean, it's tough because we ran 35 laps before we had our first caution flag. Now we've run 5 more, and then we've had another one, but you really don't know how this race is going to play out. You don't know how these drivers are going to handle these tires as they get older. The grip level is going to go up as the sun continues to go down, but I think we've still got a lot more questions to ask than answers that we have.
We're going to answer these questions and so many more. As we're going to get these guys lined up 2 by 2 behind that iRacing.com pace car.
Would have been a really good commercial segue. Hello, fourth wall. But we don't have time for that. We're doubling up. Christian Bishop takes over the race lead. Ryan Steele going to be to his outside. JTW got around Bob Beltrami on that on that last restart. He's going to be on the inside. Wayne Hutchison just behind Bob and Justin there. And then we've got Brian Barnes, Ron Hollifield, Julian Ritchie, William Fletcher, and Dennis Fuson rounding out the top 10. Bentley Glazer, the man who led the first 35 laps, gotten up to 12th position. Meanwhile, Butch Davis, Chad Stearns, and Chad Simpson still having a little bit of trouble. Chad Simpson got involved in the first spin of the day that did not bring out a caution. That's where his damage came from. My apologies on that reporting.
I mean, they're making the highlight reel for all the wrong reasons. But the iRacing.com pace car pulls off, gives the field to Christian Bishop and Ryan Steele. Off of turn number 4, they go. Through the Geico restart zone, and 3, 2, 1. We are back to green flag racing here at Darlington.
Bishop's able to get himself away a little bit. Side by side for second. Here comes Wilkinson. He's got it.
Now these guys are going to try to calm down, get into a rhythm that's a little bit deeper in the field. They're going to be jockeying for position as they're trying to get single filed out.
How calm can you be? I mean, you know how long that first run went. You know how spread out things got. You got to try to get these positions while you can on the restarts, because people are going to be tough to pass.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tougher to pass here than it is a kidney stone.
I don't know about that. Here comes Chad Stearns. He's going to make a move to the inside of Weaver to try to take away 13th place. Trying to continue his march back up to the front. He was racing up in that top 5 when the caution came out, and the top 4 all got a piece of it.
Chad Stearns running that inside line. Gets around David Weaver pretty handedly.
Yeah, but it took him a lap and a half. And look at how much time he lost to Chris Samard in front of him. He's now almost a second behind him, 3/4 second behind him. He's going to have to try to chase him back down and do the same thing he did to Weaver. And then do that about 11 more times.
It's almost like these guys are setting their passes up a lap ahead of where they actually pass.
Does seem like that. Here comes a pass for
Todd Miles and Butch Davis.
Yeah, a little bit of a moment there down the back straightaway had me holding my breath. Chris Samard working down to the inside of William Fletcher into turns 1 and 2. Gonna slide up the racetrack, almost a little bit of contact. But they're getting real close, coming up off of 2. And 28 has to relinquish a little bit. He didn't have a good angle coming up off the corner. If he stayed in it, he was hitting the fence. And now that's allowed Chad Stearns to close in on him. Butch Davis just behind Stearns. We know these guys are fast. It's just a matter of if they've gotten all of their damage repaired, how are they going to work their way back up?
I mean, I think they're fast. I think they got. I mean, you're looking at Bentley Glazer, who is right now running inside the top 10. He got involved in an earlier spin, 30 seconds of optional repair, and he's battling for 8th.
Yeah, but you know he's a guy who's not gonna be happy with finishing 8th. He wants to get back up to the front. Nobody passed him yet. Let's just clarify that. Nobody passed him for the lead. He pitted, took repairs as we got one in the wall down the back straightaway. Looked to be Dennis Fusan. But Bentley Glazer hasn't been passed on the racetrack. At least not in the first half. So he does not want to see anybody in front of him.
Well, right now he's working on that number 11 truck of Ron Holyfield. And then Julian Ritchie in that number 97 truck will be ahead of him. There he goes to the outside. And the 11 truck knows that Bentley Glazer is a little bit faster than he is.
Right, he just came on the radio and said, "Go get him, 87." he's not out here trying to cause a fuss for everybody. He knows that 87 is fast. And speaking of fast, take a look at this as he comes up off of turn number 2. Saw a bit of a slide out of that McCody setup shop number 97. Julian Ritchie just in front of him. That's going to allow that 87 to close in on both the 97 and the 17 of Hutchison just in front.
Could we see a 2-for-1 special?
I tell you what, man, that's what Bentley's got to hope for. He does not want these guys to be side by side, slowing him down. He wants to try to get this done as quick as possible, and if he can catch him at a moment like that when they're side by side, definitely going to try, but I think he's going to be able to catch Ritchie coming up off of turn number 2, especially if that 97 is loose, like it has been coming up off of the corners.
Yeah, he's starting to set that pass up now. The question is he's got to figure out how to get around 2 trucks at the same time.
We've got to work on some sort of picture-in-picture situation because there's a battle for second place heating up as well. JTW has closed into the back bumper of Ryan Steele.
I wish we had that ability.
One day, we could probably figure it out.
Leave it to the mad scientist, Liam Irving.
All right, there's that little bit of looseness out of Ritchie that's going to allow Bentley Glazer to get down to the inside into 3. Bentley Glazer trying to take away the 7th position here. He got a little bit loose down there on the bottom. Ritchie trying to utilize that racetrack and pinch him down, but Bentley Glazer just a little bit too fast to be able to keep him behind.
Absolutely. Here comes Julian Ritchie trying to battle back. Oh. Nope. Nothing doing there.
I'm not sure what it is. But Ritchie is he's just getting that little snap coming up off of turn number 2 that's really destroying his momentum. It seems like he's got the corner down just about perfect, but he'll get sideways and kind of hurt his momentum, thus undoing what he's gained throughout the course of that corner. Be interesting to see if I can see it again when he comes up off. No, that time he scraped the wall a little bit. I mean, it seems like he knows where he's losing time, but he's trying to make adjustments to prevent himself from losing more time.
Yeah, I mean, that's great track awareness on Julian Ritchie's part, and he's probably wishing to stay off the wall. But I mean, ooh, he's going to grab some there in the middle of the corner off the exit.
And Chris Samard's going to be able to close in on him and potentially try to take away that top 8 position. I tell you what, though, I think that 97 looks pretty good. If he gets one more pit stop in him, he might be able to get something going. Some track position as well. Speaking of getting something going, over a half a second difference for Ryan Steele, closing in on your race leader. Christian Bishop had himself a little bit of trouble that last lap around. Now he's got a mirror full of the 20 truck.
Yeah, Christian Bishop, trying to Probably one of the better runs I've seen him have.
I mean, he's a talented driver. He's a top 5 driver more weeks than he's not. You know, he wants to come through and take that checkered flag, especially get himself one this early in the season. Beltrami gets the wall a little bit coming up off of 2.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but when you get the wall coming up off the corner, it really, really upsets the race truck.
God, there ain't no good place to hit the wall here, Alan. There's really no way that your truck is gonna enjoy it. But yeah, coming up off, especially off of 2, that wall almost tightens out. It straightens out a little bit quicker. Look at this race for the lead heating up. That wall coming up off of 2, it tightens out quicker than the natural racing line does, so it seems like it jets out at you more. That could be what you're kind of referencing there. When those trucks just get a little bit wide, they scrape that wall and lose a ton of momentum coming up off of 2.
Here we go.
Here comes the battle.
Ryan Steele underneath Christian Bishop. Toward the lead, he's got to use a little bit of the apron.
Could he use a little bit of muscle there? Takes over the race lead. JTW scrapes the wall coming up off of turn number 2. Bob Beltrami gonna see if he can take advantage of that.
I mean, just made it look so easy. Just made it look extremely easy there, Liam. I mean,
He did. He got a real nice run coming up off of the corner. Kind of pulled a little bit of side draft. Jumped out of that apron. Came on the radio and said he didn't quite hold it down as far as he wanted to there. Definitely got sketchy for a moment in the middle of the corner, but these guys respectful towards each other. Able to get through as we are, well, having so much fun that halfway has passed us by. We're lap 64 out of 117 here at Darlington. New leader up front, Ryan Steele, Christian Bishop, then Justin T. Wilkinson, Bob Beltrami, Brian Barnes up in the top 5. Bentley Glazer, he's one to watch right now as Barnes is going to get out of his way down the back straightaway, put Bentley Glazer into the top 5 once again.
yeah, and, to your point there, Bentley Glazer, went down pit road, got 30 seconds damage fixed, and now he's cracked the top 5. He's working on Bob Beltrami and that Beltrami salami. But Liam, we're going to do right now, I really hate leaving this great racing action, but we're going to go ahead, step aside, take a break, pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Western States Racing League. We are working lap 76 of 117. Alan Bergen and Liam Irving with you every step of the way here. And so far, Ryan Steele, Liam, is out to almost a second and a half over Christian Bishop.
Alan, a couple things to note over the break. Bentley Glazer got around Bob Beltrami, Justin T. Wilkinson. He's got himself up into third place, and he has consistently been one of the top 2 quickest cars on the racetrack for the last 5 laps. The only driver who's put down a lap time comparable or faster than him at times is 5th place Chris Samard. That number 77 Chevy has been blazing fast, but Bentley Glazer, he's up further. He's in 3rd place, and he's within half a second of taking over 2nd from Christian Bishop.
Yeah, there's the eyeball test of Bentley Glazer and Christian Bishop. I wouldn't say that Glazer's on a recovery run, but I mean, tell me he's on a recovery run without telling me he's on a recovery run.
It's entirely a recovery run. He was leading the race. He got caught up in another incident, spun down the racetrack, had to get his car fixed. He's recovering from that. And he is not going to feel like he is fully recovered until he retakes that race lead.
Oh, you are not wrong.
Third of a second behind 2nd place.
Christian better run, because he's there.
Yeah, and we are not seeing, well, really either one of these, any of these top 3, get that big snap sideways that a lot of these guys have had coming up off of turn number 2. Leads me to believe that these guys have been really easy and working well with their right rear tires, not having a whole heck of a lot of problems. As Bob Beltrami is going to come into the pits, going to be the first of our lead lap drivers to do so. Dustin Burns comes in as well. See what fresh tires can do. These guys are almost 2 seconds slower per lap than what they put down on their fastest laps. However, you want to have fresh tires at the end, as you can see that 62. Todd Miles, he's a couple laps down at this point, but you can really see how much more grip he's got. You can tell he wants to get around that 87, but he knows he can't. I mean, he could, but you don't want to mess with him. Especially when you know the race is right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too, Liam, is, you know,
there he goes! He's really trying. He really wants to get around him. He knows he's quicker than both of these trucks, but he's really trying to do it in a respectful way that's not going to interfere with Bentley Glazer's race at all. This might be the way that he's going to do it coming. Oh, whoa! Bentley gets up into the wall.
Bentley grabs some wall there. That's going to allow the 62 to go on around.
I know a lot of people are going to dog the lap car for getting up in there and try to race, but oh, we got a problem coming up off of turn number 4. Somebody has gone around Barry Phil. See if he's going to reset to pits or be able to roll away, but I think that's just kind of a time where you've got to have a little bit of awareness as a lead lap car. That truck behind you is going to have a lot fresher tires having just come out of the pits. Oh, and Bentley Glazer is going to get sideways. He's electing to come in now.
Good thing he wasn't past that commit cone.
Dude, this is one of the craziest green flag pit entries in the history of NASCAR. The fact that we haven't seen or heard about more penalties, even in these few pit stops we've seen.
Let's see if we can see how he entered. Here we go. Here's Bentley Glazer entering pit road. And he's going to almost dirt track it in there. That's going to make the highlight reel.
And everybody else is coming in this time by Christian Bishop, Chris Samard, Chad Stearns. Ron Holifield, Dennis Husan. Everybody else in the top 10 is coming in.
Unless you're Ryan Steele, Brian Barnes, Butch Davis, and or William Fletcher and Chad Simpson. Those guys have elected to stay out.
Yeah, Steele, Barnes, and Butch Davis, they're still out there.
How about that number 4 truck of Brian Barnes, solidly in the second position here? On lap number 86.
Bentley Glazer easily gets by Christian Bishop to take over second place. Brian Steele, I don't know, man. I think he's just going to keep losing time out there unless he's hoping for a caution, which is thoroughly possible at this point. But Ryan Steele just came on the radio, said he's coming in this time.
Wise move. I mean, I don't think this is the last pit stop. It can't be.
If we stay green, it is.
The possible money stop.
We watched it, that entry from the 87. That has allowed him to get 2.5 seconds in front of Christian Bishop. Ryan Steele in the pits right now, but having run a couple of extra laps there on the older tires, can only anticipate he's going to lose some time here. Is Bob Beltrami just in front of your... Well, this is a battle for position. Beltrami, he came in a couple laps early.
Yeah, here comes Ryan Steele in that number 87 truck. He's been so smooth around that outside line.
Yeah, Bob's just going to give it up to him. Bentley's not pushing super hard right now. I think he knows he's kind of in the catbird seat. Barnes is into the pits. He's going to lose third place. Wayne Hutchison and Chad Simpson still out there. Bentley Glazer is going to essentially retake the race lead. Got Christian Bishop about 2 seconds behind him, and it seems like Bishop is really pushing that car, and Glazer not so much.
That's the tale of two different strategies, two different races. But once this thing gets cycled out, don't count out Bob Beltrami there in that number 14 truck, because we're working lap number 90, 89 laps in the history books.
I hate to be a negative Nancy, but I kind of think we can. He made his bed by pitting early to gain the track position. He wasn't able to hold on to it. So he's probably going to need a caution at this point. Lyle Swearingen's going to get down and out of the way. Chad Simpson and Wayne Hutchison just in front.
Yeah, at this point, they're out there just making laps and getting points.
Yeah, those guys trying a different strategy. They were hoping to get the caution. Did not come their way. Simpson's going to come in and pit. Hutchison going to stay out one more.
I don't know. I don't like the Maxwell House strategy.
Just parking it in the middle of the street.
No.
Here comes Blake. Easily retakes the race lead.
I think I would have came down a little bit earlier.
I think so too, but they're on an off strategy. They had some damage. One thing that, I don't want to be too concerned about, but one thing to consider, how heavy did the 87 hit that wall before the pit stop? It doesn't seem to be hurting that truck a whole heck of a lot, but a little bit of damage could go a long way towards the end of this race. Less than 2 seconds between Bentley Glazer and Christian Bishop.
Yeah, just 2 seconds, like you said. Bentley Glazer retakes the race lead. But what a valiant effort by Wayne Hutchison to battle him off as long as he possibly could.
Yeah, now he's gonna have another situation here with Bishop coming up on him. It's probably not gonna be quite as hard fought. Not that he fought very hard for the first one, but you always fight the leader a little bit extra hard. Here comes Bishop down to the inside. He's going to take that second place. Doesn't look like it cost him a beat.
I think Hutchinson's letting all these guys by because he's got to come down one more time.
Oh, yeah. But he's getting to the point. He's getting to the point where everybody else might come in and take their tires too if we get a caution at this point. Get a couple more quick yellows, he's got an extra set.
I don't know. I just knocked on wood. I don't think it'll go the way he thinks it'll go. I think we're gonna stay green. Chris Samard's gonna go underneath him.
And Samard's another one who's putting down some pretty fast laps. Christian Bishop, Bentley Glazer trading laps back and forth. 2/10 one way, 2/10 the other. Both of them are thinking to themselves, man, if I could win these lap by lap battles, this would be so much easier.
You're definitely not wrong there. It's a little bit deeper in the field. Brian Barnes, essentially where he started at.
Another lap truck here in between first and second. Gonna peel off out of the way down to the inside. That's the 0-4 of Dustin Burns. Ryan Steele getting all up to the back bumper of Chad Stearns. Into his inside here, side by side, down the front straightaway. This is a battle for fourth place.
I like these little battles going on right now. Ooh!
Do you notice how? Oh, right in front of Chris Samard, 0-4 getting up into the wall. I was gonna say, did you notice? Getting down into turn one, Steele went all the way down. He clipped that apron like he was going to try the slider, but Chad Stearns, he stayed in it on the outside. Steele had to immediately reel back that move and just kind of stay stationary to his inside. Still ended up working out for him, but that was a game of chicken going into a corner at 180 miles an hour.
Who blinks first? Liam,
we just watched what happens when two talented drivers don't blink.
As I say, we got 17 laps left to go here from Darlington. And Bentley Glazer's right back at home. Out there in the front of the field.
A little bit of a slide there out of Glazer. The gap is down to 1.4. Last time around, it was 0.3 quicker for Bishop. However, 0.4 quicker for Chris Samard in third place. Oh, we've got a little bit of a moment there as Bishop tries to get around the lapped car of Miles. That's going to cost him some time coming up off of turn number 4. Big time loose moment.
Yeah, you're not wrong with that. And you can start to see the sparks a little bit when these guys are hitting the wall. Especially coming off the turn 2 and headed down that Boeing back straightaway. Todd Miles is essentially trying to get out of his own way.
Yeah, this is, like I said, it's a tough place to get out of the way.
That was Chad.
Get down to the... Sorry.
Oh, no, we just had a truck get a little loosey-goosey, and that was Chad Stearns in that 05 truck.
Yeah, this is gonna get to be the point where drivers are gonna start getting frustrated. If you're out on the racetrack and you're slip sliding around, you're really slow, you're damaged. There's not going to be an opportune time for somebody to catch you, and that's where drivers are gonna start getting frustrated at this point.
I don't think there's ever a really good opportune time to do any passing.
Not here. Cover like a Michigan or something like that, big wide track. Yeah, there's a convenient spot to catch somebody.
About anywhere on the track?
I can give you 30 feet and be okay. Can't do that here.
No. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the race, the meat and potatoes, as we are working lap 105 of 117.
And the top 5, they're all within 3 seconds of the race leader. Chad Stearns is out there. He's putting down lap times pretty comparable, actually a little bit quicker than your race leader. Here comes Ryan Steele making a move for 3rd place on Samard. Bentley Glazer, he's got 1.2 seconds of a lead with 11 laps to go. Now 1.1, fastest car on the racetrack that last time around, Ryan Steele. Oh, a little bit of a slide. Might have been a little wall tap there for Bentley Glazer.
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong there. As Chris Samard is really backed off Ryan Steele there in the 20s. We got 10 to go.
10 laps to go. Can anybody catch up to Bentley Glazer? He has been a rocket all day. Started from the pole, led the first 35 laps until the first caution of the day where Keith Kellman got into the wall just in front of him. Nowhere for the 87 to go. However, nowhere for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th to go as well. The top 5 basically all taken out in one crash. Bentley Glazer has had the strongest recovery effort as we have a change for 2nd. Here comes Ryan Steele.
Oh, Ryan Steele's going to try to get him some more as we got 9 laps to go. I don't think Christian Bishop's going to let him have it that easily, though.
I don't know. Steele stayed out a couple laps extra. So he's going to be able to run these quick lap times. It's 1.4 seconds with 8 laps to go. I think if anybody in this top 5 could do it, it's going to be Ryan Steele.
Well, I tell you what, right now with 8 laps to go, the sands of the hourglass are running out for Ryan Steele if he's got any chance of a slimmer chance that he's going to catch Bentley Glazer in that number 87 truck.
My Minnesota math says, Minnesota math says 2/10 a lap is going to get him there. He got 3 that time. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew it wasn't your St. Louis map. It's a 2nd gap coming up off of turn number 2. Ryan Steele ran a 30.94 last time around compared to a 31.22 for your leader, Bentley Glazer. Does he have enough in the tank? Does he have enough in the right rear, I should say, to keep that 20 truck behind him?
Chippewa Falls native trying to run down Bentley Glazer with 6 laps to go. And Liam, you know what? I think your Minnesota math might be better than my St. Louis math.
Oh, I know it is. But 3 more tenths taken out that last time. However, Steele gets the wall a little bit coming up off of turn number 2. Not what you need here. Coming to 5 laps to go, but it is less than 1 second separating the top 2. Coming through these final 5 laps. Who's going to get it done?
Bentley Glazer is going to get it done.
That last time by, it was 1/10 advantage for Ryan Steele. That wall tap did not do him any favors, but Bentley knows that if he could just keep his head on his shoulders, that second place driver's already made one mistake. Who's to say he won't make another?
There's the eyeball test. It is less than a half a second now.
Yeah, this is where that St. Louis math starts to work. You can see it, so it's good. 4 laps to go, and it's less than half a second.
Oh, he's there.
He's
there.
Battle for third heating up as well. Chad Stearns trying to take it from Christian Bishop. Coming to 3 laps to go. Ryan Steele. You can see that 87 starting to slip and slide coming up off of the corner, but Ryan Steele is getting within 2 car lengths of the race lead.
Oh my gosh.
He is there. Stearns able to take away 3rd place. Steele, nice run coming up off of turn number 2. Does he have anything for the down the back straightaway? Oh no, he's going to move up and tried to arc his corner. He scraped the wall.
That's okay.
Looks down to the bottom side. Coming up off of turn number 4. He's got to run. 2 laps to go. Here comes Steele to the inside, getting into turns 1 and 2. Into the wall goes Glazer. That's going to give it to Steele for now. 3, 4 car lengths. The gap increasing up off of turn number 2. Now Ryan Steele has almost 3/4 of a second lead. Coming to the white flag.
Billy Glazer's going to reclose that gap up.
He's going to try 4 more quarters for Ryan Steele. Bentley Glazer gave it everything he had going into turn number 1, just didn't have the grip. Got up into the wall and he lost the lead. He's going to try to hold on to 2nd place from Chad Stearns, who has also had a phenomenal recovery effort. I think everybody in the top 3 was involved in that first caution. Bentley Glazer held on to the race lead until then, but I tell you what, man, Ryan Steele, he's going to get it done. Coming up off of turn number 4, across the line, Ryan Steele wins in Darlington. In dramatic fashion at that.
Bentley Glazer and Chad Stearns will round out your podium here tonight. And Liam, I mean, the only way that could have been better is if they could have replicated Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven.
Man, I tell you what, if they were starting to set up like it, if they would have gotten any closer, I would have started pulling out the old quote. But that was an incredible drive by Ryan Steele. I mean, I think we kind of both said that Bentley Glazer had the strategy call. And Steele comes through on the late end of the run to get the job done, and he's just going to bring it straight into the pits, and he's not looking to burn it down or get involved in this demolition derby. I think he wants that race to win diecast looking pretty.
You are definitely right. Ryan Steele, Bentley Glazer, Chad Stearns. These guys are starting to work their way up here to the broadcast booth. Or at least into the waiting room, if you will, the green room.
Yeah, Ryan Steele gets the job done. Bentley Glazer, Chad Stearns. We'll talk to them in a little bit. Christian Bishop, Chris Samard round out your top 5. And I got to say, everybody up in that top 5 group definitely deserves some kudos for keeping it close, keeping it fun. And they was just battling all over the racetrack, but everywhere in the top 5. That was great.
Oh, man. That was a blast. I tell you what, man. You know, as we continue to wait for the drivers, Liam, there's a race winner. That's the one we were looking for. And Liam, we're gonna go ahead and let you talk to our race winner, Ryan Steele.
Hey Ryan, it's Liam and Alan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what, you tend to do these things in dramatic fashion, and this was no difference or no separate occasion here. I mean, you guys all kind of find yourself, we'll start with an unfortunate situation, bringing out that first caution. Everybody kind of collected each other How bad was the damage with that, and what did your recovery look like from the first moment?
Oh, well, luckily for me, I kept it straight. Spun some other pulse roll out, but I only had 3 seconds of damage. I didn't even bother repairing it beyond what they could do during a normal pit stop, so it felt fine to me. Um, I don't remember what the other question was. I'm sorry.
Well, it was a recovery effort, but you didn't really have much of one. Your car wasn't too damaged. You definitely had a blazing fast car. You had to overcome some traffic in that first half of the second stint. Walk us through getting through traffic and then kind of your decision to. No, wait, no, you stayed out. Not stayed
Hmm.
out. You stayed up front.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Traffic
had it
is always
backwards because everybody else in the crash had to go to the
yeah.
back, but you were the one who didn't have to, and so you were able to kind of stay out front. What kind of advantage did that give you, and especially when it came to how late you made your pit stop?
Oh, I'm sure the track position mattered as far as I didn't have to pass any of my fellow competitors. It was just worrying about lap cars. I did let a couple guys by who historically usually wear out their tires a bit more than I do, and I was happy to just let them go and do their own thing. And then eventually I caught them back up later and got by pretty easily. But it's just overall traffic wise, like lap cars in particular, it's a very tough thing to handle because if you're not taking the right racing line, if you're not on the normal racing line, it's actually harder to get out of the way. So like if some of these guys were trying to get out of the way in such a way that they were actually slipping back up onto the racetrack as the leaders were going by, and it's harder for you as a driver to do that. You're putting yourself in a worse position and going slower. I would almost rather that they just stay on the racing line and let me choose to make where the pass attempt is. I know I always say like lap guys need to do what makes them most comfortable, but sometimes I feel like they do a little too much trying to get out of the way and actually make a worse situation. Um, but yeah, there's always from my perspective, it's just making sure I need to pick and choose when I'm going to pass some guys. And when I need to lift and like, I don't want to be catching this guy on turn exit because he might decide to take off and go to the bottom and get out of the way, which is where I was planning to go. So I'll just kind of sit and wait and lose a couple tenths, and in exchange, I don't have a crash. Um, and then, yeah, the last, I was hoping there'd be like a caution during the pit stop cycle. That's why I stayed out as long as I did. But I also thought, like, with this, as late as everyone else chose to go anyway, I was like, I'm only going to be a few laps later. I might actually have enough tire that I can just go on a tear, go as fast as I can, and actually get back up to the front. And so I did.
It definitely worked out the exact way that you wanted to. And now, for the most important question, probably should have started with us. Walk us through that last 2 lap battle there. You got side by side with Bentley, and it seemed like neither one of you did.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I turned down toward the apron, so he should have had enough space, but he couldn't have known, I suppose, that I was going to leave him space. So that might be why he wound up putting himself in the wall there. But also, I don't know if there was like netcode contact that made him hit the wall. Um, but I mean, either way, it was a good battle. I hope I didn't do something to make him hit the wall. And we can talk about that later, I suppose. But it was a good battle nonetheless.
Yeah, it looked pretty clean on our book, so. Well, Ryan, congratulations on getting the job done here. Dramatic fashion once again. Who helps you get it done here? Who helps that this week, the 20, get it done?
Well, I always have to thank the Dog Bear team, especially this week, because I had about 10 minutes to prepare, having to do the update and fix some settings after the update before the race. I um, only had 10 minutes of track time, and the only thing I did was practice qualifying times. So I had very little idea what to expect for a long run, and with the feedback from Bob and Wayne and those guys and Brian, I can get an idea of like, okay, tire wear looks like it's going to be an issue here. I need to, lock it down in turn 3 and 4 or more. Keep it on the bottom. Don't slide it around. Don't try to go so fast, because you'll actually just burn the tires for a little bit more speed, but then lose a ton of long run speed. Um, and I got to thank you guys for covering the series so my friends can watch.
Well, awesome stuff, Ryan. Congratulations on the win. Hope the friends and family are proud. We'll be talking to you again soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been fun getting to be up here for what this is the third time this season. I don't think I won a single race last year, so yeah, it's a new experience, I suppose, but I'll take it.
Hey, man, get used to it if you can.
Sure hope so.
All right. Now, Alan, I think you're gonna have Bentley Glazer with you.
Yeah, I think we
Oh.
just did the same move at the right
I think
time.
we did. No, you got it.
Bentley Glazer, it's Alan and Liam up here in the SRM booth. And I tell you what, you made Ryan Steele work for that one. Take us through the last sequence of race laps there.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough because I had to pit early just because I wasn't going to make up the time from earlier. I had to start in the back after that lap traffic incident, so we were kind of set up there.
Yeah, and you get caught up in an earlier incident. Take us through the incident. Take us through that incident and what more you probably could have needed out. Essentially, what I'm asking is, if you don't get caught up in that first spin, do you essentially feel like you could have drove away?
I don't think I could have drove away, but I would have definitely had a better chance because I could have pitted more when I wanted to have better tires. I knew Ryan was going to be coming fast, so good job to him. Congrats. And yeah, I'm just a little mad about the lap incident, but it's all good.
Well, all right, man. Well, before we get you out of here, is there anybody you'd like to help to get you here tonight?
Thank you guys for broadcasting. Thank Bob for putting on Western States Racing League, and thanks to all the racers who come out and race.
All right, Bentley. Well, we'll see you on the next one, and good luck next week.
Yep, thank you.
And Liam, that was our, Chad Stern's not taking the interview here tonight. But before we get out of here, we got just a couple of housekeeping things to take care of. And that is the final results here. As Ryan Steele picks up the win here tonight, Bentley Glazer finishes second, Chad Stearns rounding out your podium. Finishing fourth tonight will be Christian Bishop, right where we started from. Chris Lamard and Brian Barnes will finish fifth and sixth, respectively. Finishing seventh will be Butch Davis. Bob Beltrami finishes eighth. Ninth to go to Wayne Hutchinson. Ron Holyfield will finish 10th. Julian Ricci will finish 11th. Dennis Treason will round out your top 12. Finishing 13th will be David Weaver. Todd Miles will hold down the 14th position, while William Fletcher will round out your top 15. 16th will go to Chad Simpson. Dustin Burns will finish 17th. 18th will go to Wayne Fleet. And rounding out your top 19 starters will be the 68 truck of Lyle Swearingen.
After that, we've got Justin T. Wilkinson, Barry Phil, Earl Weaver, Scott Kukas, Keith Kelman, James Campbell, and Dan Brasington rounding out the field of 26 today. The Lady in Black, the track Too Tough to Tame.
And before we get out of here, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, as they do on every Tuesday night. And Liam, before we get out of here, any closing thoughts from Darlington?
This track delivers, this series delivers. The only place your face should be next Tuesday is in front of a screen watching Sim Racing Media. These guys are always worth watching, and I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. And of course, as always, as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Take it easy, folks.